So what does retirement mean to you?
Retirement means freedom to do
Mm,
whatever the hell I want to do with who I want to do it with, you know?
uh-huh.
Um, choice, because not having a choice is a choice, but I like choices. I'm an Aquarius. I have to have choices. We can't be
Mhm.
boxed. Our freedom cannot be boxed in.
If you're listening right now and you heard that, it's because you want more. You want more freedom, more impact, and more control over your future. I know what it's like to want to break that mold, maybe break out of your 9 to 5, or just break out of the business that you find yourself stuck working in. So that's why today's guest is Dr. Janine Jennings, who is so powerful. She went from hustling behind the chair as a hairstylist to becoming the go-to tax strategist for entrepreneurs who refuse to settle. It hits home for me because I was once a barber, turned an accountant, and so it was an amazing time talking with her. Now, right now, I actually do need a haircut, and you can see the contrast with this episode when we recorded. But you'll see her raw journey, her no BS approach to wealth, and exact strategies that can help you stop playing small and start building a legacy on your own terms. So, welcome to Beyond the Linear, where we talk with firm owners who crack the code on AI integration and actually scaling their own firm without burning out. So, let's get into it.
Today's guest went from first grade dream hairstylist to the tax pro who helps beauty pros keep more of what they earn. I'm super excited for this episode. She's the president of JP Tax Service, and her mission's simple: make money make sense, especially for cosmetology professionals who want real
Yes.
profit, clean credit, and a real retirement. So, from cutting hair to cutting tax bills, Janine, welcome. How are you doing?
I am phenomenal. Thank you. I love the introduction. It was so grand.
I had to take some time, especially match the energy with the glasses that you're bringing in. So, where are you located, by the way?
I am in Cleveland, Ohio,
Right, that's
Midwest.
right. Nice. First question I have for you, because we
Uh-huh.
have the hairstylist, barber background in common turned accountant. If you weren't doing what you're doing now, would you still be behind the chair, or would you be in a totally different lane?
Absolutely. I would still be behind the chair in in my own capacity. Only
Mm,
because being behind the chair, it does have wear and tear on your body. It's not a profession that you can do per se long time, only because of the wear and tear. Your shoulders, your legs, your back,
right.
it kind of wreaks havoc on those because you have to, when you're styling and you're looking, when you're styling and you're blow drying and you're flat ironing, it's like all this motion up here. Just,
I see. Yeah, it does wear and tear on your body.
mhm.
Okay, so let's rewind the tape, because your path is such a cool one, especially for me. And you knew since first grade you wanted to be a hairstylist. I think I was watching a couple of your podcasts. And
Yeah.
so when did the number side bug bite? As in, like, when was that exact moment you thought, like, I need to learn the business side?
Well, um, first grade knew I wanted to be a hairstylist. Then in fifth grade, I loved candy like the next kid, and I would always have a surplus of candy and I would bring it to school.
Mhm.
And then kids started asking me for some candy. I'm like, oh, that I should make this a business. I had a candy business in fifth grade, knew what inventory was, knew what a profit was, knew how much to sell it for to make a profit. How I figured that out, I still is amazing to me. I don't know, but I did. And so then fast forward, I had my own paper route. So that was another business because I was able to understand what I should make people's subscription be
Uh-huh.
because you could do that back then with the
Mm,
paper. I did that for from 8th grade to 12th grade. And I used to make
mhm,
thousands of dollars doing a paper route. And that was crazy
mhm.
back then. And then fast forward, after I graduated, I finally got my hair license because hair doing cosmetology wasn't offered in my school. And so I had to wait till I graduated in order to do that. And I got my hair license in Montana. And so I started to do hair. Then fast forward, when my grandmother found out she had cancer, I moved back to Ohio. to help take care of her. And then fast forward, I'm having my first child, and being in the Midwest, it's cold. The hair industry is slower during the winter, January through April, to be exact.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm like, well, what can I do to make some extra money to supplement my income since it's slow? I'm having my first child and I don't want to be a broke mom. I'm like, what can I do? And so H&R Block had came on the commercial as I'm thinking this out. And I'm like, oh, I can do taxes. They'll train me, and the season lasts till April 15th, and that's when it starts to pick up for hair, and boom, that's what I'm gonna do. So I was trained. They trained you for free back then, but you had to work for them for one season. And I did. So they trained me. I passed all the classes and I worked for them for one season. So I just applied all my hairstyling customer service experience to the
Mm-hmm.
tax side of somebody's personal financial space, because when somebody's bringing you their taxes, you're in their personal financial space. Just like if you're somebody sitting in your chair, you're in their personal space there. So the people loved it, and they knew I did hair because most of the time, when tax professionals at H&R Block know customers come in, they know they do something else after tax season. I did accomplish my mission, made supplemented my income, had my child, did hair the rest of the year.
Mm-hmm.
And so that I thought I was done. I'm like, okay, well, I'm done. I thought nothing of it. A lady I helped that last tax season, she called me and she was like, hey, I don't remember her name right now. And she said, hey, can you do my taxes? I loved how you did my taxes because I'm very good with numbers. Like I said, I had my own business in 5th grade. So I was good with saving money, making money, knowing how to keep it for other things. And so she loved how I just was able to save her a lot of money, get her a lot of money back. Just applying the tax code that's used widely, I didn't do
Was that your
anything.
first client?
Was she my first? 'Cause she was my first independent on my own
Oh,
tax
beautiful.
company client, yes.
Nice.
And so she was like, I want you to do my taxes. Are you doing taxes this year? I said, okay, sure. I said, I thought to myself, well, how am I going to get software? What am I going to do her taxes on? So I figured all of that out. And so she loved it again. I got her a lot of money back. And so she sent me every single solitary person in her family. It was like 8 or 10 people. I'm like,
Wow.
okay, so this is a thing. And so those people sent me people. My coworkers at the time, they heard that I was getting getting people a lot of money back. And so I started doing my coworkers, and it just built from there. Just people just recommending people. In the tax business, you gain clients by being trusted and trustworthy. And they just knew, I mean, you can tell when somebody's shady, you know what I'm saying? Like you get a little inkling, like
Mhm.
they seem kind of shady. It's like your intuition. But people knew they could just trust me because I'm a
Yeah.
trustworthy person. So,
And
and my tax business grew from just that one person.
and it sounds like you were getting them results. Actually, they were seeing the savings at the end of every year, be it
Yeah,
probably a big tax return. So that's
yeah,
super cool.
yeah.
Now, how many hours were you working then? Because as this side is growing, that the tax practice on the side that was kind of you're just getting referrals, and it kept growing. But I bet you were also, did you own a salon as well that you were running, or
I
were you
was,
working?
well, I booth rented so it was my own business within somebody else's business.
Gotcha.
So I paid rent to somebody to rent their building,
Uh
and
huh.
I just ran my own salon out of that.
Man, what were the hours like back then?
The
I guess it was
hours
seasonal.
were crazy. Like I could be at the shop till 9, from 9 to like 9. And
Uh huh.
my kids were shop babies pretty much, so they came to the shop with me, breastfeeding and all.
Oh my goodness. So it must have hit a point where you had to choose one or the other. Is that right?
Yeah, so when my sciatic nerve started to act up And that's just from wear and tear from being a hairstylist. I'm like, oh, I guess I'm not going to be able to do hair until I'm 90 years old. Because that's what I thought. I said, I'm going to do hair till I'm 90. I love it. I love making people beautiful. I love the conversation. I mean, pretty much we're underpaid psychologists solving people's
Hmm.
problems and hair problems. So I've heard it all from things that clients would never tell their spouses or they've never told anybody. And,
Mm,
I'm the first person they've ever told type of stuff.
yeah.
So yeah, when my sciatic nerve started to act up, I'm like, oh, I'm going to have to make the tax business my business.
Mm,
Because yeah, I can't do sciatic pain is the worst pain ever in life. It's because it's just constant. It's just it doesn't
yeah.
let up.
Is that, if you could describe that, I don't know exactly what the sciatic nerve is, but I can, maybe, is it in your back or where is it
It's in your
exactly?
back, it's at your tailbone, and it's two
Oh.
nerves that run down your legs to
Mm,
your Achilles.
I see.
And so it it's somewhere also too up in your back a little bit
Uh-huh.
above your tailbone. So your back can press on that nerve too. Your spine can press on that
Uh,
nerve. And if it presses on that nerves, it's like laying on that nerve and it's a constant pulsating pain. It feels like if you've ever watched Misery and she broke his legs between the blocks, it
mm.
feels like that constantly every day, like all day.
Yeah, and that was tough standing for hours on a day in the salon. Yeah, wow. But to your point of the psychologist, like an underpaid psychologist, I feel that's so heavy.
Mm,
I'm not a barber, but I was telling you, I have people coming to me just to have the experience of a haircut, to feel
mhm.
better and to kind of get that new cycle out, or and then it ends
Yes.
up being a conversation about life, about kids, about
Yeah.
their wives. So that was really cool. That's what made it fulfilling for me, that I can do that
Yeah.
with friends. So I didn't even do it for money. I just had my people, like 4 or 5 people that I cut hair for, and
Uh-huh.
we just connected every 2 weeks. So that was, yeah, I feel that so heavily.
It's an experience for them too,
Hmm.
to get out and connect with people. Like I have clients who were, like retiring and stuff. And so once you retire, it's like retirement is not just, you're aging. It's a freedom for one
Hmm.
thing. And then for two, people, it's like their busyness stops. And so them getting out of the house is like a joy, being able
Hmm.
to talk to people because they feel like they matter.
Hmm.
When you retire, sometimes depending on what you did or how your life is going at the time you retire, feel like you don't
Hmm.
matter anymore because you're not
Hmm.
doing a lot of stuff. Because we've been
Hmm.
brainwashed to think that we got to do a lot of stuff to matter to people.
Yeah. Yeah. I understand that. Now, fast forward 2 decades later in your practice, you've
Hmm.
built a practice mostly on
Hmm.
referrals. Why do you think people refer you so consistently, and what are you doing that feels different to them in the tax practice?
Because I actually care about their outcome and because I actually give a result based on the tax code and the tax laws. And, they get to have money, that they
Mm-hmm.
didn't necessarily have if they would have just done it themselves on TurboTax.
Mm,
So, if a client, one of my California clients, their CPA that they were using in 23 had them owing $100,000 for federal and 35 for state.
mm-hmm.
Now, they found me because they were just mortified. They were just hurt. I mean, that hurts your feelings having to pay $100,000,
Mm-hmm.
and they weren't even millionaires paying that. You know what I'm saying? They made upper six figures. Millionaires typically know, oh yeah, I'm gonna have to pay 100,000 in taxes. But they were like, they found me from Google. So this year when I did their taxes, I was able to get them a $38,000 refund. And they're just so appreciative. These people have taken me out to dinner several times just to show their thanks.
Mm-hmm.
And I just did what somebody else didn't do or didn't care to research to do or something. I don't know. I can't speak for them, but
Hmm.
I just applied what I knew was true,
Hmm.
and they're just happy. Yeah.
Beautiful. Who do you mainly serve? Is there a particular niche or client? I know it's the cosmetology professional, maybe the salon owner, but is there any other niche that you are
Yeah.
especially good with?
My California clients, they're software engineers. Him and his wife. I service drug treatment facilities, people who own
Mhm.
those, independent contractors,
Mhm.
and trucking industry, scientists that
Scientists.
that work independently for Cleveland Clinic and Case Western Reserve.
That so it's a very broad range. Do you work with a lot of salons now?
Well, yeah, my hairstylists
Yeah,
and salon
hairstylists.
owners. Yeah. Because that's my
Awesome.
niche because those are my coworkers, and then they refer
Yeah.
other people that they know in the hair
Right.
industry.
That must be such a good referral engine because people sit in their chairs, especially if they're salon owners in certain neighborhoods, they'll get a particular clientele. And
Hmm.
wow, that's awesome. Is that how you've, I guess, has that been not the secret, but almost the like the fire that the fuel that keeps the engine going?
I think so. Yeah,
Hmm.
because taxes are the biggest expense you'll ever pay, and if you can find someone who legitimately knows how to help you pay less, that's a topic of conversation.
Hmm.
I just got a referral from one of my tax clients. She's a esthetician, and so somebody she knows, she was probably doing a facial for her friend, and I'm gonna do her friend's taxes, who's a hairstylist. Um, and I'm sure she said, she's a hairstylist and she does taxes now, and she knows what she's doing.
Hmm.
I'm guessing. I don't know.
Beautiful. Well, now I want to get into some practical money systems for salon owners specifically. So
Hmm.
I think this is the time if you're listening to take some notes because I want to get Dr. Janine to drop some game. So
Okay.
for a stylist or solo beauty pro who knows hair but not money, what's the first step to get visibility on their finances and their taxes? How
First
should
step.
they? Yeah, go ahead.
First step would be separate your accounts. Make sure you have your business account and your personal account.
Mhm.
First step. Second step, make sure you pay yourself from your business account. Like you can either Zelle it to your personal account, but pay yourself something, whether it's $50 a week, 100, but pay yourself something so so you can record that because you matter. Because you're the person doing all the things. You matter. Just like paying your bills matters too. A lot of
Mhm.
people don't pay themselves. And if you can only afford to pay yourself, I remember there was a time when I didn't have a lot of money and I'm going to college and I'm doing hair and I'm taking care of kids, going through divorce and all of that. I could only pay myself $10 a week. That's what I
Mm,
paid myself though. At least I did that.
mm.
So, because
Wow.
that's what I had left.
Okay.
So pay yourself.
Separate and pay yourself.
Third thing would be is to save all of your receipts.
Mm,
I can't stress this enough. Every little solitary receipt that you have and you spend your money, because knowing how you spend your money will help you save it in the end. And I know
yeah.
receipts are so like they clutter and they could be, but just put them all in a Ziploc bag and label the month like
Uh,
was this is September 25 and just dump them in there.
yeah. And what's your routine to go through them and sort them out so that when tax season comes, it's not this like fire drill that you got to just capture whatever you thought you saved.
Right. Doing QuickBooks, doing bookkeeping will help with that also too.
Mhm.
So once you save your receipts, also do bookkeeping because it does save your life too. Because going through all of that at the end of the year or tax time is cumbersome. All of those transactions, all of those receipts is cumbersome. So
Yes.
that way you have a track on your money, and then your cash that you spend in receipts, that should be very few because most of the time you're using your debit card. right? Or credit card or
Mhm.
something. So your cash ones, push those separately in your receipt bag and just label that cash.
Mm.
So that way you can tally that too.
That's beautiful. Okay. Um, I want to talk about retirement because I know that's a very strong topic for you to make sure people, um, prepare for the future them because you told me, and I also think you said this on a podcast because $917 a month from Social Security is not the plan.
It is
So
not. Yeah,
yeah,
you didn't work all this time to have $917 to Social Security. Rent nowadays in a nursing home is $1,000.
you've got this survival number on your website. That's a tool that
Yes.
people can go to.
Yes.
Walk me through it. What is it? How does picking a retirement date and working backwards change the game?
Well, you have to know what you're working towards. Like, what are you working for and towards? You have to know that because you're just in the motion of things. So
Mhm,
everything has an end date, an expiration date. And
mhm,
so are you working to keep making the money, or are you working to enjoy life with your family and your grandkids, or, or what have you, husband, wife? What are you doing it for
mhm,
one? Then for two, if you know how much you need later on in life, you can plan accordingly, because if you don't know how much you need, you're just working and just busting your ass and getting tired and missing dates of people having parties just because you're working because you need it. Everybody needs more, but there's a way to do it when you need more. So
mhm,
picking a date that you're going to retire, just pick it. Doesn't have to be concrete, just pick it. Then knowing what your bills are now will help you plan for when you retire due to inflation. You'll know how
mhm,
much you need per month. And that $917 from Social Security will add to what you need, because things aren't going to get cheaper, they're going to get more expensive. Food
mhm,
is one expense. Rent, another expense. Are you going to have a car payment, or is your car going to be paid off? You kind of, need to know that. Or if you have a paid off car and then you have a nicer car that has a lease car payment, then you need to know that. What's it going to look like? Are you going to be married? Are you going to be divorced? What are you going to be taking care of kids? Are they going to live with you? Are you all going to live together to cut down costs? What's
mhm,
happening here? You take your retirement age, you take your cost of what it costs you to live right now, everything: internet, rent, lights, gas, water, car payment, gas for the car insurance, all the things.
mhm,
And then you multiply it by like 2.5. There's some other calculations in there. I'm just
mhm.
giving you the short version. And you come up with a number, and this is like your survival number of what you need by the time you retire. And at least you'll have some gist of what you're working for and towards. So,
Mhm. It's like you're painting a vision of what retirement looks like for you, which I think you also mentioned this doesn't have to be determined by age. So
no.
what does retirement mean for you personally? How is it different from the conventional way of thinking of retirement by 55, or now it just keeps getting older and older because of the
Hmm.
cost of living and
Right.
so what does retirement mean to you?
Retirement means freedom to do
Mm.
whatever the hell I want to do with who I want to do it with,
Uh-huh.
choice, because not having a choice is a choice, but I like choices. I'm an Aquarius. I have to have choices. We can't be
Mhm.
boxed. Our freedom cannot be boxed in. So I like the choice to say no to things, to say yes to things, and not have to be burdened with, well, should I go to my cousin's 65th birthday, or should I take this client because I need to pay something, you know?
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that. The freedom to do whatever you want to do, who you want to do it with, where you want to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that
If
is
I want to live in Florida for, what, I'm gonna just rent an Airbnb for a month and just live in Florida just because I want some sun.
and you also say time isn't money because money can be remade and time can. So how does that shape the way you make decisions about business or how you even spend your time?
I have to frame it as, is this going to get me closer to my goal of whatever my goal is for that month? And if it's not getting me closer to my goal, then I have to say no. Having the ability to say no is like your best friend, really, because you'll be caught in the motion of doing things that don't put you towards your goal. Because at the end of the day, if you went to a party as opposed to being disciplined, that person at the party, are they going to pay your Wi-Fi bill? Are they going to help you if you need it? Come clean your house or something? Probably not. Probably not. So saying no and being disciplined for a better choice later, that's how I frame a lot of stuff.
Beautiful, beautiful. And now with the industry, because you've spent, I guess, almost 2 decades or just over 2 decades with your tax practice.
Mm-hmm.
So I consider that mastery. So you've seen it evolve with tech, the pace of business. What do you feel like makes today, or what it feels most different about running a firm today versus when you started?
You can automate stuff,
Mm,
the automation of things, especially your intake forms and sending people engagement letters. You can have that stuff e-signed, and you don't have to be worried about going into the office and having people come sign stuff. You could send it to them and move about your day. That's a beauty. AI won't replace accountants, but it will replace accountants who don't use AI.
that's a hot take. I mean, that's a good take. Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, because some folks are leaning in, some of us just are observing. Where are you on that spectrum? Anything is there anything that you're experimenting with, tools, or just keeping an eye on?
Well, it helped me, create some intake forms that more streamlined I like simple stuff. And I believe people come because it's simple. I make it simple for them to get in, to get their taxes done, my forms. I try to make them as simple as possible because I need a lot of information from you to create your intelligent tax return. And there's no other way to not get the information other than to ask the questions, if that made sense. Did that
Hmm.
did that make sense? Did I say
Yeah,
that right?
you want to streamline the intake process because it could take a ton of time just on the
It
front
can
end to
take
get
a
everything.
yes. Yeah, tons. And so I make sure clients, mostly business owners, have a lot of their information written down
Mm-hmm.
or in Excel or somewhere where I can look at it, because whatever your medium is of keeping your records, whether it's on paper, whether it's Excel, whether it's QuickBooks, I know how to decipher the information. I know how to get what I want. I taught myself that. So it doesn't matter. If it's on a napkin, I know how to understand it.
Beautiful. Do you think entrepreneurs sometimes chase, like, this is just a question that popped in my mind, chase tax write-offs at the expense of just building real wealth to get into just wealth management conversations?
Of course, because they don't know. Yeah, they chase it
Mm-hmm.
because they just don't know what their end is. They haven't thought about what retirement looks like for them. So they're just chasing it and not understanding that you're going to have to pay some in tax. Or just when you're creating your wealth, you're going to have to pay something. Doesn't have to
Mm-hmm.
be a lot, but you're going to have to pay something, because
Mm-hmm.
we're capitalists. They built this capitalist society. That's
Yeah.
just how it is.
Yeah, and I sense a big theme in your approach is just beginning with the end in mind. So, how would you advise somebody to paint out what is the end in mind? What is the outcome that you're looking for? Is it a vision board? Is it feeling? Is it money in the bank account? How would you help somebody determine that?
I would just ask them, the top question is, what matters to them? Is it spending time with your family? Does that matter? Or having a lot of money in the bank? Does that make you feel comfortable? Um, I'll start there and then build out
Hmm.
everything from there. But I just have to know that one answer first.
What matters to you the most?
It matters to you most, because a lot of things matter to different people. Different things matter to different people, right? Yeah. So
Yeah. Okay. And yeah, and if you had one rule for every business owner, small business owner, to follow that's non-negotiable, I think you laid out some here already. What would it be? A non-negotiable money rule.
non-negotiable money rule. Be able to save as much as you spend,
Mm,
because the money that you're saving can be put towards other vehicles in
mhm,
order to make you the money that you want. Because
mm,
money is money. It is the tool to get you the freedom that you want in life. And you don't always have to work for the money in order to grow it, because
Mm,
you're just not able to physically, you're just one person. Yeah, you can have a business and your business can have employees and all of that, but there still are expenses that you have, but you need to place your money in different vehicles so that way you're not working as much to get to where you want to go.
yeah. So you're telling me I don't necessarily have to work more to make more money?
Right.
Okay.
Right.
And I'm guessing that you're talking about different investment vehicles like the Roth
Yeah.
IRAs and
Yes.
investing into the
Simplify
market.
simplify stuff for yourself. A Roth IRA will help you grow your money. Since you're self-employed, you can get a SEP IRA where you
Mhm,
can have purchase gold and purchase silver. Those two commodities are very profitable. So if you can purchase
mhm,
that, that's going to help grow your money too. You can purchase houses in your SEP IRA, put it in your SEP IRA. That's the only one that you could do that with. Purchase commodities such as um, silver and gold and assets such as houses
mhm,
and put it in the SEP IRA. So you can have like $1 million SEP IRA, um, and you've only started it with what, 5,000 in cash or something like that.
mm,
Bonds are another way that you can grow your money because they're pretty much surefire, and you can go to US Treasury. Don't quote me on this. It's in my book though. It's in my book.
You're writing a book?
Now, I wrote a book on money and retirement. It
Oh,
is
beautiful.
the Small Business Growth Guidebook. I can send you the link. But
Please.
two things that retire entrepreneurs, business owners, they're into the hustle and bustle of making the money, but they don't know how to save it. So I just give some simple retirement strategies for you,
Mhm,
for anybody to take heed of. I'm not a
mhm,
financial planner, but I just know a lot about finances. So
mhm,
I can't say, what do I have to make the disclaimer? This is for educational
mhm.
purposes. And I'm not a lawyer. I don't give legal advice. I'm not a financial planner. I don't give financial advice. So
Yes.
that's my disclaimer.
This is not financial advice, NFA. Just let me emphasize that.
This is educational purposes. Educational. So
Beautiful.
it just helps you to get a start because a lot of people are making the money, but they haven't started for retirement. Like, say, if you're 30, 40, or 50, you can still retire with at least 500,000 by the time you decide to retire,
Mhm,
So you don't have to chalk it up like, oh God, I didn't start, so I just won't start. No. If you started with $100 today, you'd
mhm.
still be better off.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, well, this has been awesome. Super practical, super human. Where else can people find you online?
They can find me on Instagram, Jennings Payton Tax Service. They
Mhm,
can find me on YouTube at JP Tax Service and
mhm.
Accounting. They can find me on TikTok, JP Tax Service and Accounting. They can go to my website. It's a simple website, jptaxservice.com. They can shoot me a text and ask if they need help with a question or something.
Let's go. Drop a text, please. And anything that you're excited about in the next year or so when it comes to your tax practice or just the growth goals?
Yes, just being able to help more entrepreneurs just
Mhm,
understand their money. I mean, I'm creating a webinar for entrepreneurs, business owners to
mhm.
help them understand what their money is. Like, I got a lady in the tax office last week and she found me off Google. I have my Google reviews are like, you better get some tissue because
Oh,
they are so heartfelt. And every time I read them, when I just go back and read them, I'm like, oh my God.
oh,
So elated that I was able to help them. And I didn't know from their perspective how much that impacted them emotionally, financially. I was just doing what I know how to do. You know what I'm saying? Like, because I practiced on myself first since being an entrepreneur since fifth grade. I just made sure I knew what worked and then I applied it to other people. But those reviews are like awesome. I don't do it for the reviews. I do it because That's just what my purpose is in life, is to help entrepreneurs save money. I'm here to
Mm,
make you look good in life, make you look good on paper, and make you look good in your legacy.
wow. You know, they say, I mean, I forget who said the quote, but there's the two most trusted people in your life are your accountant and your barber. And so it looks like you've managed to fit in both roles. She's the one-stop shop. So it's amazing.
Yes.
This was really good. I'm really excited to see what comes, and this has been a beautiful conversation. Thanks for being here.
Thank you. I appreciate you inviting me.
All right. We'll talk. I have a feeling we'll do this again.
Yeah, we will.
Sweet.
Okay.